I'm just going to make a few observations here. And again, I ask for your latitude because I'm not speaking on a subject that I'm an expert in by any means. I'm just sharing my observations as a layman who knows some stuff, but again has no degrees per se in the concerning the subject that he's let's say dabbling in this particular talk, this monologue. Hate to call it a monologue because that sounds like it's just me talking and nobody else responding, but unfortunately that's basically what it is. That's the nature of this means of communication. So my observation is that the American empire has run out of capital, and this is something that to me seems like it's worth making note of. Right now, in the year 2022, American empire doesn't have much support. Now, do people still support the military? Yeah. I mean, do people still admire the military, rightly or wrongly? Do people still rally behind the troops? You know, support our troops? Sure. But it doesn't work the same way that it did before. The support our troops line that they used in 1990 and then again in 2003, both times, first time in Kuwait, second time in Iraq, and the same kind of sentiment that they've drawn upon for every military endeavor that's been, every kind of police action that the United States Army or armed forces have taken the lead on in the recent past. The notion that, you know, supporting the troops is what you were duty bound to do, and that meant not criticizing the war effort. So it used to be widely thought, I think, by the mainstream, by the silent majority, as they were called long ago, that if you drew attention to things like the Miley massacre or other bad things that were done, other war crimes that were committed by American troops in Vietnam, or or in Iraq or other places, if you just simply said, I support the troops, but I think it's wrong for them to have been summoned to serve as cannon fodder for the empire, you know, just so that gas prices will go down, or just so that the mega rich can buy another yacht. Those kinds of objections were drowned out in the past. They were drowned out, you know, by red-blooded, you know, conservative Americans who were just seduced by the whole support our troops, support our troops, support our troops, America, fuck yeah, kind of mentality. I don't think that works anymore. And I mean, that's a significant shift. But it seems that post-Iraq, there was this souring effect And you know, after Iraq and into, you know, after the aughts, going into the teens and you know, the previous decade, where there were still military operations that were engaged in. There was no full-fledged war. Of course, war technically was something that was supposed to be voted on by and receive a majority of votes in Congress, and then be signed into effect by the president, the executive branch, the same way that laws were passed. That was the way war was supposed to work. The nation was not supposed to just be engaged in all of these extended police actions, which essentially were wars, without the consent of the representatives of the people. Now, the representatives of the people, you know, I'm not someone who buys into any of that stuff anyway. That whole democracy rubbish. Obviously, even if you do buy into it, even if you do believe that is that kind of protocol was the way to go, obviously it hasn't been the way that it has gone in recent years, even in the last 50, 60 years. I don't think the Korean War was ever voted on. I don't think that the war in Vietnam was ever voted on. I think technically those were just, not wars, even though they were, and on down the line. There was a vote after 9/11, I think, where the overwhelming majority of Congress said, yes, President Bush, you have the power to do whatever you want to fight terror. And that there were maybe only a couple of people who voted no to that, and I believe one of them was Ron Paul, and the other was some black lady, communist. I can't remember her name. Those were the only two dissenters. So anyhow, that's all kind of tangential to my main point here. And I do have a point, even though it sounds like I'm rambling. It sounds to me like I'm rambling. I'm a bit self-conscious about the possibility that I'm just rambling here and boring people. But if that's the case, then, you know, go just stop watching. No big deal. Here's my thing. I simply think that the juice that they're, you know, the zest, the kind of automatic, you know, rah-rah sentiment for, you know, American imperial actions. And call a spade a spade. You know, America is and has been an empire. It's pretended that it isn't. It's always claimed that it isn't, but it is. You know, a non-empire wouldn't go halfway across the world fighting and getting involved in wars that it has nothing. There's no vital national interest you know, being fought over there. You know, even if you could justify that, say, oh well, oil is it's good to have a war over oil because we need oil. You know, that's not how nations that aren't empires, republics that are not empires, that's not how they function. Name checking the a Republic, not an Empire book there. So now it doesn't seem to me like in 2022, and it seems like even in over the past few years, it doesn't seem that if, well, let's just say for now, let's say the president decides that we need to have boots on the ground in Ukraine to fight against Putin's evil invasion. I don't think people would go for that. I don't think that they would be bullied or intimidated or brainwashed into saying, well, yes, I support the troops, so let's go to war against Putin's Russia. Let's liberate Ukraine with our mighty military. That's not happening right now. That doesn't seem like it's something that people feel inspired to express their support for. You know, it was different years ago, and of course 9/11 had something to do with that, and I've already elsewhere told you what I think 9/11 was, or what I don't know what for sure what actually happened, but I have a good idea what didn't happen. But that's another story for another video, which I've recorded in the past, and indeed I have an online series of essays where I've written about it, which I'll link to below, because right now the name that I gave my own work there, my own extended essay, is escaping me, but it can be found online for dirt cheap, i.e. free. So in any case, whatever 9/11 really was in people's minds, it was like we're being attacked, and so the war in Iraq, the invasion of Iraq, the forcing of regime change in Iraq, the attack on a sovereign nation, could be somehow framed and justified as a defensive war, as fighting back against those forces who attacked our nation, who attacked our sovereignty. Sorry, but I somehow don't think that would work, even if they were to try a false flag today. You know, if they were to say, if tomorrow it suddenly there was this massive attack, what they've been talking more about is cyber attacks, but I don't think people are going to want to go to war against Russia if Russia cyber attacks. That just doesn't compute in people's minds. Most people, like, ooh, a cyber attack. Oh, well, let's kill them all because they cyber attacked us. No, I think it would have to be an actual physical attack. But I think even if there was a false flag, even if something happened akin to 9/11 and they said the Russians did it, I don't think even that would work today. I don't think that would work as far. I think there would immediately be skepticism, cynicism, people questioning what they were told, what the news is telling them, in a way that absolutely was not the case on September 11th, 2001. You know, it seems like ages ago, but even back then there was so much more trust in the media establishment. There was so much more trust that in the notion that what you see on TV is real, and what they're telling you is real, than there is now. There's just not the same kind of trust, and there shouldn't be, and that's a good thing. But going beyond all that, I think I shouldn't say we. I never like to say we when I'm talking about forces that are not me, that don't have anything to do with me. Even if I happen to live in the country where the the governing powers represent these forces or constitute these forces. It's still not we, you know. It's still not a question of we attack them because they attacked us. You know, this propensity to use pronouns, plural, first-person pronouns like we and us. I just don't do that because it doesn't have anything to do with me. It doesn't have anything to do with you either, probably. Depending on who you are, but in all likelihood, I would say 99% plus positivity that it doesn't have anything to do with you or me. The empire builders, they're not going. They haven't waged their wars. They haven't founded this empire. They haven't pursued these imperial dreams for us. They haven't done these things on our behalf or for our benefit. They don't represent us. So, and it's not even a national thing. This is you know, I hate to use buzzwords, but this is a globalist endeavor. So it's a globalist endeavor, but it's still the United States taking the lead. And I just don't think, I think today, you know, there's just been this significant shift, and that's what I'm commenting on here, and that's what I think is worthy of commentary. It's worthy of noticing, you know, in my certainly far from perfect way of noticing it or talking about it here. You know, if I'm a bit fumbling and incoherent and inarticulate and don't have a script or whatever, because I'm driving, you don't want me to read. I'm already putting myself and the other drivers in danger by recording this video while I'm driving. If I were reading a script, you know, it would be a lot more of a wild ride for me here. But again, the main point, which I keep circling back to, there's no capital that they can draw upon anymore. It has run dry. They can't say support our troops. They can't say fight in this unjust war, kill a bunch of innocent people, probably in all likelihood, en route to fighting this supposedly just war for supposedly righteous reasons. People don't want that anymore. People won't have that anymore. I think Iraq was a turning point there. I think that left some festering wounds, and after that, there just hasn't been the will anymore. And that didn't need to happen. Things didn't need to take that kind of turn, but they did. I don't think anybody is fooled. Well, I mean, I'm overstating. There's a sucker born every minute, of course, but I don't think when it comes to the critical mass of people who would have to be in support in order for there to be a full-scale war waged against Russia. I just don't think they can make that happen anymore. And that is a significant change from the way things used to be. So, just a few thoughts here. Tell me what you think below. Thanks for watching.